we're going to go now to where that ground game has been most critical. It's in the state of Ohio. Dennis Kucinich, a Democrat, joins us there. Thank you very much. In Lakewood, Ohio, thank you very much for being with us. We were just looking at those numbers. It hasn't been called, but it's looking pretty good for the president in Ohio at the moment. Would you agree?
It is. All indications are that he'll win Ohio. However, the thing that you have to understand is that if his margin of victory in Ohio over Romney will have to be bigger than the number of provisional ballots that are outstanding, because otherwise the election returns will have to wait until November 17th to be decided.
Do we have any idea who's favored in those provisional absentee ballots, outstanding absentee ballots?
You know, as a rule, you would guess that it would be President Obama, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's so. I mean, in 2000 and in the 2008 election, President Obama won the state with about 258,000 votes. There were 200,000 provisional ballots that were cast. 40,000 were put aside. Now, his margin of victory was bigger, so the provisional ballots didn't come into play. But if the margin of victory is smaller, the provisional ballots come into play, and that's, let me restate that. He took Cuyahoga County by 258,000 votes, which set off his victory around the state. So what I would ask you to do is look at the returns that come in from Cuyahoga County. If he maintains that margin with the same number of votes cast in 2012 as in 2008, then he will be on his way to victory. But if his margin over Romney isn't as much as the provisional ballots that are outstanding, then we could be looking at not only a long night, but a long 10 days.
And that, no doubt, is exactly the numbers that the folks who call these things are looking at, and probably explains why it hasn't been called yet. How long is it going to take us to get an answer to that question?
Well, let's watch for the Cuyahoga County returns. I mean, at 6 o'clock, the last time I heard what the vote was, we were at 600,000, which put us on track for approximately the 660,000 votes that were cast in Cuyahoga County in 2008. If President Obama is able to maintain the margin that he did, then this thing is over. He will win Ohio. However, if the margin is smaller and if it's under 220, look, George Bush won Ohio over John Kerry in 2004 in a surprising race where everyone who backed Kerry, including myself, thought that, you know, the night before the election was over. President Bush won by 221,000, won Cuyahoga County by 221,000 votes, and won the state. So watch the margin. That's what you have to look at.
Any doubt in your mind that Ohio will continue its winning streak here, and that whoever wins Ohio will win the presidency?
I think that's true. I just want to restate something. I said that it was Kerry won Ohio by 221,000 votes. So Kerry's margin wasn't as big as Obama's, and it's really a question of margins here. Obama's margin has to be large enough in Cuyahoga County to offset the losses that are likely to take place in the more central and southern parts of the state.
Okay, Congressman Kucinich, thank you very much for that. We're going to be watching that very closely, waiting for the analysis of those numbers, particularly in the key Cuyahoga County, to determine who wins the critical state of Ohio.